Hello. It's white, short, and stupid Israel Adesanya here. Um, that's something I'm trying to stop, but I recorded this video last night. Well, I sort of went on a roll and recorded my fights against Papablessyoursoul and LXD. As I felt like I was in a bit of a roll and was able to like rant away at things, but I watched my video I uploaded yesterday, and the amount of times I'm going, it's so clear I'm just not there. I might record the video with Need More Rage, that fight again. I don't know yet. I felt like what I was actually saying was pretty solid. You just have to get through, like, half of the video being, like, hemming and hawing. So I figured I'd just record the other fights in the tournament again, now that I'm a bit more lucid. This fight against Papa was a rough one, when I think back to it. There was... I got roped into, like, standing and banging with him, and Papa's one of those people who can hang out in the pocket, and he was hitting harder than me, so I just couldn't... I kept meeting him in the middle, and then getting obliterated, and then getting annoyed, because I've been doing training for X long, I have to be the better one, so I just... yeah, I got emotional about halfway through the second round and started trying to solve the problem by hitting harder, and that's just not how these things work. It just isn't how these things work. I should have reset, let that, like, 12 seconds of non-activity between rounds give me the, like, mental reset I needed, and come at it from a, like, the cold calculated standpoint I try and take fights from. There were a few other things I'll get on about later around technique, because the technique you use in real life and the technique you use in-game, it is different. And that's just, it's a fault of the medium and a fault of the headset I'm using. I'm not gonna say, oh, I was using a Quest, that's why I lost, but my technique wasn't adjusted for the format yet, which is something in my LXD fight that I really focused on, but this isn't the LXD fight, this is Papablessyoursoul kind of beating the shit out of me for 3 rounds. But I was pretty proud of this fight, considering how it performed despite the lack of my technique being adjusted for VR, and also the fact that I came into this cold. I just kind of went, fuck it. This guy's got a few wins. You know, if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. Type shit. I shouldn't have done that. If I came into this a bit warmer, I might have been able to keep the first round tied at the very least. But, you know, you live and you learn, and the adjustments I feel I'll make during the single elimination format should redeem me. You're wondering what this is on this side of the screen? It's just what I'm going to use to draw on the screen. But that's enough dumb rambling. I think we'll just start watching away. That is loud. Let me undeafen us, because I would like you guys to be able to actually hear me over the damn video.
2, 1, 5.
So he's come out as Milan. Milan is a really interesting character. She seems pretty, like, middle of the road, and a lot of, like, at least in my experience as a beginner, I decided to go for her because I was like, Mira and Carl do a lot of damage, so there's clearly got to be some drawbacks to that. Like, what's the catch? So I was a bit scared to pick them. Tang felt pretty toxic, to be frank. It just kind of felt like health regen character equals toxic. Bala has the, like, guard breaking mechanic, and I was like, I don't really fuck with how toxic that can be, so I sort of fell on Milan just naturally through taking away the other options. So I was like, yeah, this guy could either be using her toolkit effectively or has picked her as a middle of the road thing. But Papa's, as you'll see, has chosen a character that fits their style pretty well. We come out, we're doing this little rhythmic stuff because we're both fresh. You can just kind of bounce. And catches, this was something that happened a lot. The moment my hands dropped, they came in. So I have to take note that Papa's got a good eye for an opening. I try and angle off there, but nothing kind of comes of it. Just in the headset, so I just kind of go, oh, okay. Again, my hand comes down, I get smacked. Yeah, I won't be able to meet this guy in the middle and just bang it out with him. Even though Milan does less damage. And yeah, that's sort of what I was going on about the technique. That lead hook, when I threw that and saw the 300, I was like, come on, bro. That would have hit harder than that. The lead hook in real life is one of my, like, shots I like throwing on the pad because it feels good and it feels like I'm hitting hard. I do find a home for it in real life. I was like, that lead hook would have, like, killed a small child. Why am I getting that pathetic amount of damage? And it's because my lead hook starts close to the headset and doesn't really leave that point. And the quest can't really track directly in front of it very well, so I was just getting fucked on the tracking data, basically, where I was throwing really hard, but it just wasn't registering because it was getting like 3 snippets of information, and then it goes, well, clearly he's hitting like a bitch. Which is, yeah, that lead hook frustration you'll see is gonna really hamper my damage output. I'm trying to mix up levels there pretty desperately. Like, low, I throw high and I think I go low, yeah, and then I go high again and it just, nothing comes of it. That parry mechanic, that's a really frustrating mechanic. Is when your opponent, like, retracts their shot, like that, when they're retracting their shot to the chin and being really defensively responsible, they'll accidentally parry your shot. So it would have been a perfect counter in real life, but because the game's a little bit odd, I got, screwed. Sounds like a lot of excuse making right now, but I promise that's not what it is. I'm just explaining why my damage output was not what it should have been. That was a nice little angle off there. They dash in, and I dash out to this angle and then throw a shot over. Boom. It's one of my favorite counters is to just like go for this temple or chin area after I do take that angle out to my right. I tried again, but it's just too close and I get stuffed. I'm bouncing around. You can notice the more I bounce with the hands, the more I'm like, I'm getting this I'm gonna fuck you up energy. There's, you know, I'm trying to I'm basically trying to jump into these hooks. I'm trying to angle off, let's see if I can get a better view of that. They come in again, and I try and... This is another angle you can take. If they come in on this line, as a southpaw, going out that way extends the length of this shot. They have to take a longer path with their right hand to try and hit you, and it can result in a miss and a free counter. But I have to be really careful hanging out in the pocket here because this happens. And you just get mauled. Papa's really good at not letting an opening go to waste, so if my body's open, they'll just start swinging for it. Which is, yeah, I think the next time I fight Papa, I'm gonna be aware of the openings that I'm leaving, and what offensive options he has to take advantage of it and sort of be ready for it. So no, they're going to take the opening if it's presented. Flurrying because I'm angry and I want to get this like knockback. I want to get the knockdown back, but it's just not going to happen because I'm forcing it. When you're trying to force the knockout, it never comes because, like, first of all, you're going to be making really stupid decisions to get there. Whether that's your shot selection or the angles you're taking engagements from, just start making mistakes trying to go for that knockdown exclusively. And beyond that, your opponent will feel that energy coming forward. They'll be like, oh, they're trying to like really fuck my shit up. I think I should just keep my hands to my chin and wait for him to stop. And yeah, it's really... people discount how hard it is to really hit someone when they refuse to give you any little break in the armor. That's why you rarely see first round finishes tend to be... Consistent first round finishes tend to be rare. And they're either really talented, fighting really easy opponents, or they're very good at lulling people into making the mistakes they need to capitalize on. But that's not what I was doing. I was just caveman gaming, you know? That was a nice angle off on Papa's part. We reset after that. So they've kind of figured out that coming at me on a straight line's really not gonna work, because I am gonna try and angle off. So they angle to my right, which is the right way, because on the outside of my right shoulder I have very little offensive options. So they can get hits in, and I'm really not that dangerous. The most I have, especially in boxing, is either doing a Lomachenko style pivot where I jump to retake the outside foot angle. I either back up so I don't take damage, or I do a spinning back fist and risk getting like clocked in the back of the head on my way through. And I take that angle again, and I really didn't even take note. This is only something I'm noticing now. I really should have made an effort to cut them off. Yeah, see, they're doing it again. They figured out that I have no real answer. And they're opening with body shots again. Yeah, I remember this. They're spinning their hand and then hitting me with this lead hand. And that was sort of the end of the fight there. That's when my brain turned off and I was like, I'm just gonna start swinging. Caveman gaming. So I'll have to keep note to keep my emotions in check. And that knockdown basically won the fight. Because now that I'm watching it back again, that was something I needed to take note of. This body shot I throw, just a left straight to the body while taking my head off the center line, is a shot that I really need to start taking advantage of more. It's a shot I throw in real life quite a bit. I'm aware that the right hand is kind of dangerous, but I usually make myself a little bit safer by taking the outside foot position, so they kind of have to throw across themselves to effectively land it. And I'm throwing it from such a range that I don't get hit by the right cross trying to attempt my own cross to the body much. And I also have to be really careful, because after I start landing a few left crosses to the body, I come over with a head kick, and the people at the gym are aware that if they try and throw a right cross, I am going to try and throw my kick over their shoulder that the moment I see that coming out. But, you know, it's still a bit of an unexplored shot, but it does feel very good and very safe for the moment. taken a bit of a Philly shell guard and cross guard, which was a new look. This was an entirely new look. The Philly shell, I see a lot of people taking it on in VFC because Floyd Mayweather was untouchable using such a style. There are a few reasons why you don't really want to do it when someone's a southpaw, particularly because the whole point of the Philly shell is this hand, the left hand. Wait, no. The right hand, yeah. The right hand in a Philly shell is to parry jabs and other lead hand strikes. And the shoulder basically, you shoulder roll right crosses that go for the chin. And then this whole, your whole forearm's protecting your body. And the reason you do this whole little triangle business is since left shots are pretty well protected by this hand, and body shots are pretty well protected by this arm, the only angle that looks really valid is that naked right cross to the chin. But because Floyd Mayweather knows that that's really the only shot that's going to come when he holds his hands like that, he's ready to roll and then counter with his own right hand. But I see a lot of people just kind of taking this guard because it works well with the tracking volume of the quest. It protects body shots, which naked body shots are a bit of a thing that's happening in the VFC meta right now. And it feels fucking cool. You feel like a goddamn pimp right up until you realize you don't have the acumen to roll those right hands like he does. Yeah, see, that whole... When he sees an opening, he goes for it. Boom. That's 1, 2, 3. 3 shots to the body, and then he throws up high. The moment I leave that body open, he's, trying to break my liver. Hand up there. It didn't really show on the camera, but hand up, jab. That's another thing I see a lot of. It's a newbie mistake, so it makes a lot of sense, but a lot of people tend to make the mistake of not bringing their hands to their chin when they're throwing strikes. You're most vulnerable when you are throwing strikes yourself. You need to give up some part of your defense to throw a strike, especially in boxing. And the least you can do when it comes to defensive responsibility is leave the other hand to keep at least half of your face protected. But a lot of people make that mistake, and I can just throw fucking right hooks over and over and over and over, and just maul people with it.
7, 6, 5.
Yeah, this cross guard, despite it's really open now because he's about to give it up, but the cross guard really cuts away a lot of options at the cost of counter shots being a really rough one to... Counter shots are really hard to throw out of a cross guard stance. So I need to sort of be aware that when he's holding his hands like that, I can, despite the fact that it'll be hard to find my target, it should be an easy strike to land.
2, 1, 5.
What that was stupid. Let me rephrase that. Even when someone holds their arms in a cross guard, because counter shots are a bit hard to really put some venom on, even if I know that it'll take a few shots to break it, I should just throw those few shots, because the counter is not going to be that spicy. I don't have to be worried about heat coming back. Yeah, he opens up with a lead hook to the body. So I'm like... Yeah, I'm really trying to... This is that energy I was talking about. And he handled it pretty well. I think could have tried a little harder to stay out of range, but he was landing this lead hook on me every time my hand dropped to either throw to the body or because I was loading up. So yeah, he's gonna sit on this lead hook and kind of light me up with it. Yeah, I'm really coming at him. I should have been a lot more careful here. He's low health, I've got a significant health advantage. I can kind of just control him for the rest of the round if I wanted to, and then just get the knockdown later on. and then leave him with less time to retaliate. But I was pissed off because of the little bit of showmanship in the first round, and I really wanted to get him back, so I just kept coming forward. Yeah, I'm just swinging. That was a nice little combo, but it wasn't exchange to exchange. It was a very overall problem that I was experiencing between a bit of my offensive output being hampered by the fact that my technique hadn't been adjusted for VR, and Papa having the heat to, like, hang in the pocket with me, and the defensive acumen to not get melted while I was throwing these big stupid flurries, there was just no shot that an aggressive approach like this was gonna crack his strategy. You can see I'm stunned, and I'm kind of screwed here. I really should have tried to, like, back up and not engage while my stun was away, but the fight was slipping away from me. I don't really have an excuse for that. Full body jab to the head. He's taking up that, one of the openings when you're a southpaw and you throw a jab, it is the body, so he's he's got his fight eyes dialed in to be able to immediately go for that opening. Yeah, I'm just trying to swing it back, either keep myself winning this round. That was a really I was thinking about the spin, and then by the time I completed the spin, they were just not there. Some very smart angling on their end. Yeah, they're kind of getting caught coming. Papa was struggling when he came at me on a straight line, and succeeding when he was coming at me from an angle. You can see I'm slowly whittling away as they come at me every time, like, on that straight, on the train tracks. Yeah, you can tell I'm a bit mad with the way I'm hitting the body. A little bit of an IK funny with the leg. I'm checking the time counter. I really shouldn't have done that. I should have just kept alert. I have 40 seconds to not let him tie up around, but it just isn't happening. So now I sort of need to do a big 30-second blast, which would leave me, it left me with nothing for round 3. Like, I still had a round in me by the end of the fight, but I'm usually feeling pretty damn good. Yeah, I'm just hitting wherever and whenever I can, because, you know, they can't, worst thing happens, they win another round, you know? Just in my headset a little. One thing I notice, is the third of my headset, like, in the third round, my headsets are like, foggy. I remember, I didn't mention it, but in my fight with Need More Rage, by the end of the third round, my lenses had fogged up, and I was just, like, shelling up and trying to remember the sort of patterns that Need More Rage threw, and I was able to just barely not let him win the round, and won that fight.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1. Fight.
Yeah, more Philly shell. I went for a glove touch, did it? I think he went for a glove touch and then abandoned it, and then I was like, oh, okay, glove touch, and then he hit me, and I was like, what the fuck? And just started going for it. Yeah, it got really spicy for the first, like, 30 seconds. So yeah, sorry about that one, Papa.
Knockdown.
But yeah, I win it. I win it just because Mirror has mad damage when you start, yeah, coming for it. So, pissed off energy worked off. I got an early knockdown. I might be able to at least win another round and have it be 2-2 coming into the fourth. Yeah, I'm getting locked into a fucking, I'm getting locked into just banging it out. And if Papa kept banging it out like this because I had that early knockdown and he's at half health, and I was starting to dial in my offense, I think had he just kind of let himself like throw with me, I might have been able to just fucking win it. But he realized that this wasn't a sustainable game plan and slowed down. That was a nice little roll. That little roll under the big lead hook is something I need to actively utilize more. I do a few pitter-patter shots, but his tracking was gone, so I stopped. So he's lucky he didn't anger me too bad, otherwise I might have been toxic. And hit him after I'd realized he'd frozen. Yeah, another knockdown. I just need to keep this, I need to keep this energy up and just, like, not letting him, come into an exchange without regretting it. Nice little 1-2, I go a bit nuts. Because, I still hadn't figured out the stun mechanic. So every time I landed, like, a shot that sounded like it was doing any amount of damage, I would just go nuts. And I'd start eating counters because they weren't stunned. I got matadored there. Nice little exit from Papa's point, but I am, yeah, as you can tell, a Hulk smash mode. They call me Terrible White Rod Tang. Yeah, I think we sort of just agreed to fucking go for it for the last little round, just because it was like, I had nothing to lose. Win or draw, he was gonna win the fight, so he just fucking went for it. Yeah, I'm, looking back at this fight, I don't think I did as bad as I thought I did, but I also really made some fundamental mistakes. Mind game wise. Yeah, it was a solid fight on Papa's end. And I congratulate him, but I'm coming for you in the single elim, be ready.